exactly. So speaking
That's
of going to space, the Tesla stock is about to reach there. In fact, I don't know what the exact stock price on 100 kilometers or whatever is, but currently, as we watch it live here, can we just sit and watch this for like 30 minutes and call it? The stock currently for Tesla is $571.24. Anyone remember what it IPO'd at in 2010?
I don't.
Oh, no
$17.
Wow.
So you are up 33.5 times of whatever your investment was then is what you have now. So I'm glad everyone took my advice to not buy it a few months ago when I posted that video. So, you're welcome for that. The question is what's going on and why is it is it hitting this?
Why now?
Yeah, well, and if you go back, so I'll describe what are shown on the screen here, but I like this Market Watch website. It has a really good kind of layout, and you kind of this advanced charting mode. You can see the history of things and kind of play with the data a little bit. So if you go back a year, you can see it in January 24th, 2019, it was right around $291 a share. Which actually wasn't bad. If you remember, there was in 2019, or I'm sorry, 2018, it was a lot of ups and downs. 2019 as well, but it has just been on an absolute tear since about late October, which is when we got delivery numbers for Q3, and I think they had that surprise profit. In Q3, you saw it jump, in 2 days by 100 points or so. And it's, it's like doubled since then. Or more than doubled technically. So pretty cool, pretty good stuff. I think what the general consensus seems to be of all the stuff I've read about and tried to follow along here is that Tesla's finally done it. They've actually kind of broken through the FUD and the nonsense and all that. In fact, there's some recent news that came out about sudden unintended acceleration, where the car would just, if you guys remember the Toyota Prius fiasco way back in the day, which if you're looking for the answer, it's cosmic rays, and I'm fascinated with this, but there was a lawsuit, or the NHTSA or NHTSA, which is the most horrible way of saying that, are going to investigate Tesla for this. And unlike automakers back in the 90s when it was happening to Priuses, Tesla actually has very detailed data about every single car ever. So chances are it'll be dismissed. And Tesla put out a statement saying, guess what? That lawsuit was brought on by a short seller. So there's no evidence of this according to them, yada, yada. But point being, like, the people that were spreading misinformation and trying to cast doubt and all that, not the reasonable people that were like, back when Model 3 was just barely getting rolling, going, I don't know, they're not like an automaker with 100 years of history behind them, so we'll see. Like, I think there was a lot of legitimate kind of uncertainty, but it seems that they've passed that. The Model 3 is just crushing. In terms of deliveries, they are continuing to crush, as well as now the China factory is up and running. There's even been people trying to cast doubt on that. And so someone posted a video showing the stamping machine creating thousands of cars at the China factory already. So I mean, my guess is that, and basically what drives the stock price is a lot of speculation by big time investors. So here's the deal, right? If somebody that has, I don't know, $1 billion to play within the market, and they're saying, we think Tesla's going to go to $1,000 in terms of the share price. Well, guess what? All the other people that don't have $1 billion are like, oh man, I better buy some stock now. And so it creates this swell. And so this is why, again, the whole thing to me is kind of a rigged, speculative system. It's not really based on reality or fact. But that's basically seeming what's going on is everyone seems to be positive on it, really driving this up, and it's backed by the deliveries, and we're going to have an earnings call here next week. A lot of people are expecting another profit. If so, I think that would make the fifth time they've shown profitability in the past, like 8 quarters or something like that, so doing extremely well. But yeah, I mean, just basically all the stuff is happening and it's all going the right direction currently. And so, yeah, I think that's what's really driving this up here. And it's reaching just record levels here.
I didn't, wow. When you said the China factory, that for some reason flipped a switch in my head. It's like, oh, maybe to the investor types, it's not real unless you've got a factory in China.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing for me is, we're just seeing like record after record of deliveries and the demand is still very consistent. And I think people just didn't realize the effect that Elon talks about all the time, which is these will sell great once they're in customers' hands and more people get to experience the Tesla. Because then it'll make people, that's something that's not very tangible. But all of us as Tesla owners have experienced that, where you get someone in the car and they're like, no way. Mm-hmm. And they're, I can't believe it does that. There's so many things, and it's so many of those things are untangible, and it's not until it starts taking effect, and the more that are on the road, the more people experience them, and the more the demand goes up, just kind of naturally, and it's amazing.
You know what I've been thinking? I would love it. I mean, it doesn't affect me because I've already got one. But if they had some kind of program where people could drive one for about a month, because getting behind the wheel once and doing a test drive, maybe even having it for a day, that's nice. It gives you a taste, and you're like, okay, that's cool. Ooh, it does have this acceleration, it's got all the whiz bang features, blah blah blah. Sure, but once you really get used to driving it, and then you go back to a gas car, it's just like, oh my god, this is a piece of crap. This is so bad. Like you don't realize it until you've gotten away from it for a little while, and then you get back in and it's just like, oh, like every time I drive a gas car now, that's exactly how I feel. I'm like, ugh, I never want to drive one of these again.
Hey, thanks for checking us out, guys. I hope you enjoyed this clip from our podcast.
We do a weekly show here on YouTube, so make sure to subscribe to Our Ludicrous Future, where we discuss all the things that are going to make our future totally ludicrous.
You can join us here on YouTube or at any of your favorite podcast places. Plus, if you want to get some behind-the-scenes stuff and join a cool community, you can help support the channel at patreon.com. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.